Weekly planner. Okay, there's a sheet. And this is how we plug in what you're doing. Now we just created this for you. You can copy it. We'll have a website page for you where you're going to have some of these resources. So a little later on, we'll hand out a form if you want access to the website. We need to get your permission before we send you an email on that. So just fill it out. So there's going to be some tools. One of the things I told you as a gift on that page will be a free download of one of my hypnosis tracks for sleep. That will also be there so you can utilize that. And then we'll have some of the PDFs on this. But if you open this up, it's very simple. It's Sunday. It starts on Sunday. And it has a space to put your notes, your business to-do list, your personal to-do list, what went well that week, and you've got some areas to fill in your action items. Up here, my focus for the week, my 1-year goal, my 1-month goal. And the reason it's designed this way, it's very simple, is for you to have something visual. And it's very simple just to put the big items on there. Put your big action items on there. But have your whole visual on it. What am I going for this week? What am I going for this year? And then over here, what's going well? End of the week, what went well? But this will be a file that you'll be able to download and utilize. What I call relational communication. I trademarked this phrase about 10 years ago. And this phrase to me is exactly what Pat's talking about. What's relational communication? Relational, relevance to one, relevance of one to another, connection. Relevance. Communication using words, signs, sounds, behaviors to express or exchange information or to express your ideas, feelings, thoughts to somebody else. And what that really means is relevant, or relational communication is relevant connecting. Relevant means that you're actually seeing who you're seeing and that there's a way that you connect with them. So I'm going to give you some research, some technology, some things I developed to accelerate that, and also to understand what is actually happening when you talk to another human being. Things are happening that you're not aware of. Would you like some of the secrets? Okay, one person. Who is that? I'm going to whisper it in your ear. Who is it? Oh, it's you again? You want some of the secrets? Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to give you some of the secrets. Your ability to communicate. There's a direct relationship to your success. You get better at communicating, you're going to be more successful. Would you agree? Yes. That's better. Would you agree? Yes. Awesome. We're going to finish strong, man. Especially you. So for business, creating rapport and trust is the number one thing you need to focus in on. What's the number one thing? That is correct. And trust and rapport is what leads to a sale, a connection. 55% came from what? Body language. 38% came from your voice tone, and 7% came from the actual words. Now, I don't want you to be worried about or focused on what the percentages are, but what you need to focus in on, are you in alignment with what you're saying? Because if I got up here day one or on Wednesday and I said this, I'm so excited to be here. I'm out of my mind of what's going to happen. We're going to crush it. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here nice and early. So my words are saying what? My words are communicating some things, right? But what overrode all of it? My tone and my body language. So part of this for you to start thinking about is, how are you showing up? Are you in physical alignment? Body language, voice, and words. Now, when you start really paying attention to this, your potential clients and your colleagues, what are they really saying to you? How many of you have left a meeting, a phone call, and they told you something that you knew was complete bullshit? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I want to see you. Raise your hand. Okay. The only one that didn't raise their hand must have just woke up from their sugar coma, okay? Because it happens all the time. We get tired. We're like, oh, they said yes, but they said yes. See, anytime we have communication that comes our way that's not in alignment, we're doing ourselves, our customer, our clients, a disservice. Because alignment is giving you the true message. Because if you're in a potential meeting, and if you're working with somebody and they say yes and you know it's bullshit, you are going to be wasting what going forward? Time. That's right. What are you going to waste? Time. So do yourself a favor. Start asking questions. Well, you know, I heard him say yes, but I think he's just trying to get out of this meeting. You got to go in. You got to be an investigator. You got to get in there. All the time. Because no's are just as good as yeses. No's, great quality no's, are time savers that lead to great quality yeses because you get more time. So just knowing, am I in alignment? Are they in alignment? And if they're not, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to give you my 4-step process for communication, no matter who it is and what it is. It's the HOPE process. And this is a mindfulness-based process. See, what I'm teaching you is to be more present. You have to be present to realize somebody is not in alignment with their voice and their words and their tone. Number 1 is come from your heart. The more you're in your head, the more you get disempowered. So the more you can just drop down into your heart, go, what do I want for me? And what do I want for the other person in the relationship? That's a felt sense of relatedness. Just the fact if you drop into your heart and you do that before a meeting is going to change the energy and exchange of information. I was telling you something with my words, but my body language and voice was different. So when you start paying attention to the exchange of energy and information, you get to be a better influencer and you get to be a better investigator. Because every communication you have with you, your family, your spouse, your kids, clients, colleagues, you should be investigating. And it's not hard. Is everything aligned? Am I aligned? Anyone in here in the room get nervous or a little apprehensive for asking for the business? Raise your hand. Great, honest people. Because you know what, if you're not practicing it, I voice recorded many people on their sales process. There's a very interesting thing that happens. When it's time to ask for the business or the deal, their voice drops. Happens about 90% of the time. Even seasoned professionals. What I do is I have people record themselves. Just start listening. What happens? Because sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable. But when you're in alignment, and so what I have people do is just consciously raise their volume and tone a little bit in their head, and then it just stays the same. Number 2, outcome. Outcome. What do I want for me? What do I want for them? It's very similar to heart, but heart is the body sense. The outcome is more of an intellectual sense. What do I want for them? What do I want for me? You got to know what you want. You can't go into relationships. When Pat was talking about his process, he's clear. He wants to give to them, but he also wants to receive business. But he's giving first. Number 3, what's their personal interest? Number 3 could be the most important one of the whole process. What do most people do when they get in a conversation or they're in a sales conversation? Whose interest are they looking out for? Your own. Human nature. I'm going to suggest you change human nature and that you step into this model and really focus in on what is their personal interest. Because then you can be of service to another human being, and by giving, you will receive an abundance. By giving, you will receive an abundance. I'm going to say that again. By giving, you will receive an abundance for the people that are getting a little afternoon blood sugar. Hold on the question. We'll get to you. And then you got to know what you want. Don't go into these sales conversations, don't go into relationship conversations without knowing what you desire. It's an equal exchange. In the Bible, they talk about being equally yoked. You have the equality here. And this is where you're training people how to treat you. When I'm working with real estate professionals, money managers, service-oriented groups, one of the things that I teach them, I have been teaching you, is protecting your time. Charles, the example I gave you earlier today, before this, would never protect his time. He was a doormat for people. So when you're dealing with high-level professionals and they always have time for you and as much as you want, that should be an indication of something. But when you quantify your time and protect it and take the calls and say, hey, I've got this time for you, here's 10 minutes, here's 15 minutes, then actually you get your client to be even more present in the conversation. Because now they've got to deliver. They've got to be on point. But if you just get on a call and you think it's forever, you should be talking about anything. Number 4, you've got to enter their world. Number 4 is a whole training that I do about communication. And actually, that's just a reminder. Can you get the second book for them? Email Power, get that ready. We have another gift for you. So, entering the world is, what's their communication style? What's the best way to connect with them? See, some of your clients are going to say, don't email me. Don't call me. I want a face-to-face. But finding out what is the best actual methodology to deal with them, that's important. The other thing is their communication style. The reason I'm going to gift you this book from Pat is this. In the book, it's called Email Power. It's about electronic communication. And in there's a questionnaire on communication style. There's 4 communication styles. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and digital. Visual, see the world. They're going to say words like see, look, view. Auditory communicators are going to have words like resonate, sounds like, listen to, hear. Kinesthetic communicators, you're going to hear words like feel, touch, grasp. And digital communicators, which are in their head, think, process, data, logic. Now, I just gave you a fast course right there. There's a quiz in the book. And the book is about electronic communication. I wrote that book 10 years ago, and it was probably 10 years ahead of its time. Now the information, because there's so much electronic stuff going on, when people are emailing you, you can just scan the email. Oh, see, look, view. Oh, visual person. And the reason it's important to understand that, that's how you process the world. You have one primary way that you process the world. You process it every way, but you have one primary way. And what happens in sales conversations and in presentations, if you mismatch the style, you're going to be out of rapport. So style matching is a rapport builder. Rapport builder. How many people like to see things to make the decisions? Just raise your hand. You like to, I got to see it. Got to see it, raise your hand. How many people like to hear it? Let me hear that. Okay? Auditories are actually the lowest level, but I'm a see and hear. How many have to feel it, get a good feeling about it? Raise your hand. We got my wife. And digitals, it has to make sense. Has to make sense. Okay. You're all of them, but you have one primary way it comes in. And if you're not connecting with your client, your colleague, your wife, your husband, many times it's a mismatch in style. Mismatch in style. So you use the words that. So if I'm going to pitch somebody, I'll give you a quick example. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to do it right now. If I have a presentation, I'm going to say I'm showing a real estate product, or I'm going to do a deal with somebody. It might start like this. John, I'm going to show you these graphs so you can see how this process works. And as I tell you and you listen, I think it's going to resonate with you. And you're going to feel in touch with this property, this deal. And I believe the data and the logic behind the deal will make sense to you. Now, I started with visual, auditory words, kinesthetic, and digital. Did you get that? Yeah. You all can do that. I've been doing it a long time, but a quick read through that chapter, you can do that. This is rapport building. There's people in your world you naturally just connect with. You just naturally. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried, or my focus is the people you don't naturally connect with. And that could be 75%. If you're an auditory person, think sound, that's the least categorized, there's the least amount of people in that category. So if you like to hear and tell people things, visual is the highest. So that's why there's always visuals, things that I'm doing. And you should, as I'm just going to give you a tool. If you're doing meetings, you should be writing things down and showing it to them. Because if you're dealing with a visual and you're just doing this, just think, they got to convert it. They got to keep converting it. So give them a visual tool. Notice what we did in the training. Hands-on, words, all that. I've used the whole 4 styles the last 2 days, if you realize it or not. I gave you data, I gave you research, I have you interact, I've had you talk to people, I've shown you things. Because I want it interactive. I want to go into your nervous system. I want it to integrate, which it already has, and then we polish it off with a little hypnosis just to get it into that subconscious mind. But this whole process is what I suggest you do with every client you go to see. Okay, I'm going to come from my heart. I want to have a great relationship here. What's the outcomes? What's their personal interest? How do I enter their world? It takes 2 minutes. Well, every time I email them, I don't get a response. Every time I show them a graph, they say, yeah, I'm not getting a feel for that. That's a sign. That's a sign. Okay, I love this graph. I love this. So up here, face-to-face. At face-to-face communication, you have 100% of the cues. Body language, voice tone, and words. Got that? Let me do it again. Got it? Got it. Awesome. We got to finish strong, folks. The more important the communication, emotionally and financially, and please, listen, hear, feel, and think about what I'm about to say, okay? I have so many clients that decide on high-value communication, deals where there's an emotional topic, that they want to pull their phone out and text somebody. I think this is a good idea that I text them this. Yeah, do you know the cost of one bad text or email to your client? You see, in texting and email, and I have a whole section on this, what's missing in texting and emailing? Body language, voice tone. Yeah. So just so you know, and this may shock some of you when you hear this, when you read the word, you are making up the meaning. Yeah. You're making it up. Now, I'm not saying you're not good at it, but I can tell you every day in the world, people are getting murdered because of it. There was a thing in Great Britain a couple years ago where one guy was texting another guy, had auto-corrected something. He thought he said something, went over there and killed him. True story, you can look it up. Based on, and they had kind of a family feud, but the word got corrected on the autocorrect. Deals, relationships. So, when it comes to face-to-face, try to get face-to-face. I know you're in a world of technology now. And then the least important, financially and emotionally, is texting and email. Any of you ever sent a text that went bad? Oh, no one? Just one. No one in here has sent a text that has been misinterpreted. Okay, you guys are not awake. There's no way. There's no way. How about an email?
You said a text. I've sent many.
Oh, great correction. How many sent one or more email or text that went south? Okay, great. Yeah, it does. But here's the thing just to remember. The cost of that email or text can be huge. I've got real estate people that I've had to coach on. They're trying to negotiate on a text. I'm like, thank God I'm not your client. Like, you're texting to negotiate? Well, I'm just going to give them the number. Yeah, that's going to work.
Did you know the average person spends 4 years of his life looking down at his cell phone? Kinda ironic, ain't it? How these touch screens can make us lose touch. But it's no wonder in a world filled with iMacs, iPads, and iPhones, so many eyes, so many selfies, not enough us's and we's. See, technology has made us more selfish and separate than ever. 'Cause while it claims to connect us, connection has gotten no better. And let me express first, Mr. Zuckerberg, not to be rude, but you should reclassify Facebook to what it is, an anti-social network. 'Cause while we may have big friend lists, so many of us are friendless all alone. 'Cause friendships are more broken than the screens on our very phones. We sit at home on our computers measuring self-worth by numbers of followers and likes. Ignoring those who actually love us, it seems we'd rather write an angry post and talk to someone who might actually hug us. Am I bugging? You tell me, 'cause I asked a friend the other day, let's meet up face to face. They said, all right, what time you wanna Skype? I responded with OMG, SRS, and then a bunch of SMHs and realized, what about me? Do I not have the patience to have conversation without abbreviation? This is the generation of media overstimulation. Chats have been reduced to snaps. The news is 140 characters. Videos are 6 seconds at high speed. And you wonder why ADD is on the rise faster than 4G LTE. But get a load of this. Studies show the attention span of the average adult today is 1 second lower than that of a goldfish. So if you're one of the few people or aquatic animals that have yet to click off or close this video, congratulations. Let me finish by saying you do have a choice, yes. But this one, my friends, we cannot autocorrect. We must do it ourselves. Take control or be controlled, make a decision. Me? No longer do I want to spoil a precious moment by recording it with a phone. I'm just gonna keep them. I don't want to take a picture of all my meals anymore. I'm just gonna eat them. I don't want the new app, the new software, or the new update. And if I want to post an old photo, who says I have to wait until Thursday? I'm so tired of performing in the pageantry of vanity and conforming to this accepted form of digital insanity. Call me crazy, but I imagine a world where we smile when we have low batteries. 'Cause that'll mean we'll be one bar closer to humanity.